We've looked at a few PS4 controllers on the channel, and this is a contender. This is the wireless controller for P4 from Gamory, and I'm going to tell you why I think you should seriously be considering this one. Hello and welcome to Console Accessories. As we said in the introduction, we're going to be looking at this today. So this is an alternative PS4 controller, and it's from Gamory. It says here the wireless controller for P4, and there's a picture of it. We have done a video before on the PicTech, and I'll leave a link above where you can have a look at that. And that is more of like kind of like your Xbox style, so it's a bit bigger. And has the asymmetrical design, so this one has the symmetrical thumbsticks there, so it's a lot more in line with an original DualShock 4. Okay, so here it is. There's a picture on the front, wireless controller for P4, as I said, battery, rumble and gyro. I'll talk about those features in a bit, and if you stick around, there's something very, very special about this controller. If you stick around, I'll tell you about how you can get this and something, a little bit of a treat for it. Going over, then we have the side, a picture of it and what you get included, and on the back all about it, what's included, other languages, and again on the side bit of branding and a little bit more about it. Okay, so that's the box, and when you open it up, what you do is you get the controller obviously, and what you also get is an instruction manual and a USB cable. Now the instruction manual, yeah, all well and good, it's actually not got any other functions. I'll explain that in a bit. So it really just tells you how to connect it to your PS4. Okay, great, so no much need for that. And then a micro USB cable. Always nice to have a micro USB cable. However, I seem to be collecting these. I've got hundreds now, so that's why it's still tied up, because I've already got one sat on my desk, so I just use that to charge it up. But hey, nice to have a USB. And here it is. Here's the controller, and as you can see, really matching the DS4, DualShock 4 in terms of aesthetics. So it has the inline controls, thumbsticks, and it has the two handles going down there. It really does look like the DualShock 4. Okay, so just to go over it then, what we do is we'll talk about the D-pad first. So the D-pad is very personal preference for some people. Some people really need to have a decent D-pad, and for me this one feels okay. So it's all one piece. Okay, so as you can see, it's all one piece. It's not like the DualShock 4, which has it in 4 buttons. This is all one piece, and for me this feels great. I haven't had a problem with it at all. Nice and snappy, and I can roll my finger around it, so I feel this is a decent enough D-pad for me, but I completely understand that it's a personal preference for some people. Okay, then what we also have is the share and the option buttons either side of the touchpad, and the touchpads are slightly smaller than on the DualShock 4. And then the thumbsticks, I've got to talk about thumbsticks because I think they're great. These thumbsticks feel really nice. There's a decent amount of travel on them, and they're rubberized, and if you can see, they've kind of got this grippy texture to them. So they feel great. They really are a good pair of thumbsticks. I'm really pleased with them. And then when you click them in, yeah, they're a bit hollow, but that's okay. Not that fussed. And then in the middle we have like kind of like your home button, that's your PlayStation button, and then we have a little speaker in there, and just under there is the 3.5 jack, so you can plug your headphones into there. And then over here we have the triangle, circle, X and square, and these feel okay. They don't feel too dissimilar to the DualShock. In fact, they feel almost identical. I think if you were blind testing this, you wouldn't be able to tell a difference between these buttons and these buttons. They feel okay, and through gameplay they seem to be great for me. And then finally on the top there we have the Gamory logo and a micro USB and the light bar there. And now the light bar, so we know that it does work with PSVR because you have the light bar. And the triggers, these feel great, really good. L1 and R2, never had a problem. And the L1, R2, now these are a little bit different to the DualShock 4. They're a little bit stiffer to push in, okay? These are loose as you like, Okay, so these, no problems at all to bringing these in. This is a little bit stiffer, okay, a little bit stiffer. Ping back. So I mean I've been playing this now for a few weeks and I haven't had a problem with it, but I think that maybe after a while of doing that, you'll be able to feel it a lot more than you would on there. But having said that, they feel great. It feels like a nice solid controller. It's really comfy in the hand. It's a little bit more bulbous around here than your DualShock. So it's a little bit, so it sits in the palm a little bit better, but fingers wrapping around it. No problems at all hitting any of the buttons. Really comfy, really solid controller. Okay, so it has gyro, rumble, and it has a little speaker in there. So with the gyro I was just doing, you know, when you put the keyboard up on the screen, I didn't have a problem with that at all. That was no problem at all. And the rumble was pretty decent. It was okay, the same as kind of like your DualShock. It just, yeah, it was okay. Nothing to write home about, but it was okay. And then finally as well, also with this, when you press this button here, it lights up. Okay, so there's your kind of like your home button. So if you focus on this bit here, as you can see, it's kind of 3D, so it's sunk back in there. And then if we look over here, the triangle, circle, X and square, they're color coded, and again they're sat back, so really nice. And then we have the light bar flashing on the top there. So it's really nice. So it looks really good, and I haven't got a problem with LEDs. I quite like it. I think it's quite a nice little touch having the LEDs on there. I really like it. Overall, it's a really, really good controller. I think it's only lacking in a couple of things. It doesn't have turbo and it doesn't have macro. A lot of third-party controllers do. Whether you're used to that or not, I don't know. For me, I'm not that interested in turbo or macro, but if you are, this wouldn't be the one for you. So, you know, turbo is you can set it so you have the circle. If you hold it down, it would fire the circle for you. I'm not that bothered about it. Or macro as well, so you can program one button to be kind of whatever you want it to be. You can have it as pressing the triangle, circle, X and square 3 times in a row. All put that on one button. It doesn't matter for me. So it doesn't have those two. That's not an issue. And build-wise, as you can see, that it's plastic all the way around. So if I pick up the DualShock, if I show you the back of here, you can see that it's kind of got this grippy texture to it all the way around here. All the way around here, it's kind of got this kind of grippy texture, albeit plastic, not rubber. It's the grippy texture. This doesn't have any of that. This is just pure smooth plastic all the way around. Okay, so there's no gripping at all. It's all the same material all the way around. So there's no kind of grippy. It'd be nice if there was a grippy texture to it, but it's not a deal breaker for me. The battery inside it is not too bad, as we know with the DualShock 4. The DualShock 4 battery is a bit naff anyway. So they say you can get on 2 to 3 hours worth of charge, you can get 5 to 8 hours worth of play, which I think is brilliant. That'll do me. I have mine plugged in when I'm not playing it anyway, and I mean, if ever I play more than 5 hours without charging it anyway, I've never really sat down on my console for 5 hours. So it's not an issue for me, but just to tell you, it will only last 5 to 8 hours before you've got to start plugging it in. And this weighs 193 grams, whereas this weighs 20 grams more at 213 grams. So not a huge difference between the two. I think if you're looking for a replacement for your DualShock 4, this, I mean, you're looking at about £50 for one of these. This I picked up off Amazon. It actually costs £28, so around half price. Okay, but this is where there's something a little bit special. If you go and have a look, I'll leave a link below where you can go and get it. Have a look in my Amazon store. Go and have a look. At the time of recording, you can get either 30 or 40% off. I managed to get 30% off, and I bought this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I managed to get it off, so it's still on the deal. I'm just hoping now, so beginning of November 2020, I'm hoping it's still. Go and have a look. If you can get this for 30% off, sorry, it takes it down to £20. Okay, and if you can get 40% off, that will take it down to £17 or $17. If you can get this controller For £17 or $17, it is a no-brainer. You absolutely have to get this as an alternative to one of these for that price. That is an insane price. A ridiculous price. I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that you can get it at that price. Go and have a look in the links, see if it's on the sale. Like I say, I managed to get it at 30%, and then they whacked it up to a 40%. You go and hit the voucher code so you can get that. What a bargain. An absolute bargain, because it feels like a great controller. It has everything you need on it. I think it's a superb controller, and at £17 I think it's an absolute winner. Okay, if you've got any questions, do let me know down in the links below. If you get this at 30% or 40% off, please do let me know. I'll be really interested. I think this is superb, really good. Okay, any questions, do let me know. Happily answer them for you. Okay, so that was my look at the wireless controller for the PlayStation 4 by Gamory. I've been Console Accessories, and until the next video, bye bye.